Go. All right, guys. Here we go. Nice sudden cutoff on the music, Steven. Guys, going to a rave is a shitty way to find out that you have epilepsy. Guys, I don't drink and I don't smoke weed, which blows people's minds when they meet me. They're very confused by this. A lot of them react the same way that Luke Vader reacted when he found out his dad was Darth Vader. They're just like, no, that's not true. That's impossible. I know, it is true. Oh, guys. So I, a few weeks ago, won a prize for what might be the dumbest tweet ever. There's a local Chicago sports radio program on the internet, and they had a morning meme competition where they posted a picture and you had to come up with a caption for the picture. And the picture was Madison Bumgarner, pitcher for the Giants, dressed up as Paul Bunyan standing next to an ox. And what was my caption? But on TL for 3 months with Paul Bunyan's. And that won somehow. I don't know. I'd really hate to see the other tweets. And like I was so surprised I didn't even ask what the gift was. It's probably with my luck going to be a Benny's gift card that I won't be able to use. Looks like my dad's getting a Benny's gift card, guys. Oh man, I had a lucid dream a few weeks ago. You guys ever had lucid dreams before? Yeah. Yeah? Those are fucked up, man. Those are weird. Except my dream was me waking up to my alarm clock. That's frustrating. So I hit the snooze button on the alarm clock and it kept beeping at me. So I tried to turn the alarm off and it kept beeping at me. I unplugged it from the wall, and it kept beeping at me. So what did I do in the dream but get in my car, drive into Joliet, and chuck the alarm out the window in Larkin Avenue. I get home, I lay back down in bed, and all of a sudden I hear beeping from my closet, so now I'm in my closet looking for this alarm clock. And then I think to myself, Alec, you stupid son of a bitch. You're dreaming, asshole. That's like buying weed and you get home and you open it up and it's just fucking lettuce. Like, it's... That's not what I was hoping for. Oh. Guys, there's little difference between the phrases I'm sorry and my bad unless you're at a funeral. In which case there's a big difference between I'm sorry Jimmy died and Jimmy died, my bad. I really want to buy a hearse too and just drive around really slowly with the blinkers on so that everyone thinks it's a funeral for a guy that nobody liked. That guy doesn't exist in this scenario. You don't have to owe for an imaginary person. I had pneumonia a few months ago, guys, and that sucked. It's weird, like, okay, first up, it wasn't that bad because I was able to keep my New Year's resolution on losing 20 pounds. Which was good, but it was weird, like being in the hospital for it, you know, and they put you in, they got the IV in there, and they're drawing blood, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with you, and all I could think sitting there was, you know, maybe I just post something about it, you know, I really need the support right now, and I had a lot of family and friends that posted, I hope you get better, you know, it's good you're doing well, and all this stuff, and then my aunt just posts, I'm glad you're in the hospital! Like, that's a poor choice of words. Glad is not necessarily how I would put it. Oh, man. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I really enjoy. It's the Mormon practice of soaking. Weird reaction, okay. Guys, those of you that don't know, Mormons, you can't have premarital sex. You can actually get kicked out of Mormon college for having premarital sex, which is weird. Because that happens in non-Mormon colleges all the time. I don't know why you would ever go to a Mormon college. It's just not, well, I can either go there and get kicked out for having sex, or I can just fuck like a wild person here. But you see, the Mormons have a loophole, and it's called soaking. And the way soaking works is you enter the vagina, and you just leave it there to like marinate. Which is messed up, because eventually if you're doing this missionary position, it just turns into an ab workout after a while, like you're planking in high school gym class. Just, no, God! And the other thing about it is, the worst part about having sex for me is having to make eye contact with the person I'm doing this with. Just like, I'm sorry you got stuck with me. You need to make better decisions in your life. It really is. It's one of the weird things I do love about those people. Speaking of sex, guys, I've realized the only difference between being single and being lonely is weight gain and the amount of masturbation that occurs during that time period. Allow me to stand profile and let you decide which one I am. There it is, guys. There it is. Oh, man. One of the reasons I've decided that I'm single is the fact that last summer I got a Star Trek tattoo on my chest, right where it would go in the uniform. Because sometimes it's nice to be alone at the beach, everybody. It's show up, take my shirt off, where'd everyone go? And children and women running away screaming like Gojira attacked their beach. I pronounce that traditionally. You really do. Oh man, so I'm not good with women. The last relationship I was in didn't end very well. I was seeing this girl for a couple months, and let's just put it this way: she left me with a parting gift. Yeah, you know, the kind that goes away with 2 pink pills and a shot in the ass, guys. And the worst part about it is I told Cameron, who you guys saw earlier, about that I wanted to make this story into a bit, and Cameron doubled over laughing. I didn't even say her name, and he just goes, "I knew she was bad news." I'm like, well, that makes you a shitty friend. You did not stop me. That is... Oh, man. Guys, just learn a lesson from me. Don't try to date the girl that openly admits to fucking the singer of Escape the Fate the first day you meet her. Because that's how you get chlamydia. I would also like to point out that my parents are in the audience today, and they did not know that about me. Love you, Mom and Dad. There we go. Oh dear. It all like I trace it back to high school. My weird relationship stories. I was seeing this girl off and on for a couple of years, you know, and one day, again, my parents are here, guys. I'm not holding back. They're on vacation. And I said, hey, you should come over. My parents are on vacation. She came over, I made spaghetti because I'm a gentleman. We watched a movie because I didn't want to rush things. I convinced her to have sex with me, which was really just me on top of her for 5 minutes banging her head against the wall because we did not plan this out accordingly. And the next day, I messaged her on AOL Instant Messenger, guys. That's right, bringing it back. And I says, hey, we should do that again. And she was like, no. And now a normal person would have thought, wow, I'm really bad at sex. My first thought was, wow, I should never make spaghetti ever again for a date. Things don't end well when Alec makes pasta. And then I went to college and I met this girl. She was really nice. She was the RA on my sister floor, which is great because I would just go over to her room for the night a lot. Excuse me. And one thing my roommate and I did while we were both single, guys. You know the sock on the doorknob trick, right? When you're having sex to let your roommate know not to come in. Well, we were both single for a while, so we would put condoms on the doorknob to let the other one know when we were masturbating into a sock. It's a real thing. And it was nice, and we had dated for like 6 months, and one day she was like, hey, I'm going to visit my parents in the city. Do you want to come with and meet them? And I says, yes. I should not have said yes. Because we drove up there, her parents loved me, did not know this about her. She doesn't like guys that her parents like. And so on the way back, she dumped me in the car, 15 minutes away from campus, and I honestly thought about doing a Bruce Willis-style Die Hard barrel roll out the car door to avoid any further confrontation. And that stuck with me for a while until about a year ago. I went on some dates with a girl, and it went well. And one day I was like, hey, come over to my house. You know, we'll pop some popcorn, have some beers, you know, watch a movie, whatever. You know, it'll be fun. Now I should say that my bedroom's in my parents' basement. So we're off to a great start. It's not as bad as it sounds. I'm a kitchen away from a garden level apartment. I got a bedroom, I got a living room, I got a bathroom, we're all set. I just need an oven, which I'm still trying to convince someone to put down there. So she comes over, we go into my bedroom, and I go into my room to grab the DVD. She follows me in there, sees my twin-sized bed, and goes, well, that's not going to work. Now again, I was a little rusty, and so the first words out of my mouth were, wait a minute, sex was an option tonight? Needless to say, it wasn't. And I didn't even make spaghetti that night, so I don't know what the fuck happened. I really have no idea. So then after that, I tried using online dating, which is an experience. Anyone here use online dating? One lonely, sad sack of shit in the back has used online dating. I was on OkCupid for a while, and technically still am, I just don't check it, so any women here that did not admit to being on online dating, you know whose messages to avoid. Because I'm not good at sending messages to people, I'm really not. Like, I used to send personalized messages, you know, hey, my name's Alec, you know, I like to do this, this, and this, I see we have this in common, do you want to go grab dinner sometime? And I messaged someone once, and the next day she had deleted her account. I'm like, oh, it is me. Okay, that makes sense.
She actually blocked you.
No, she just gone. She was gone from the ether. And like the thing is, so after that I decided, you know, screw this. I'm going to send the same message to every single woman. And that message is as follows. I need your help. John Stamos has been at my door for the last 30 minutes trying to sell me an incomplete set of encyclopedias, and I don't know how to get rid of him. What should I do? And I got two responses. One was just telling me of a full house. And I don't know why I didn't get down on one knee right there, but I should have. The other response was, and I quote, LOL, you're a fucking weirdo. This isn't how you're gonna meet women. You should rethink your approach. To which I responded, well, you laughed and messaged me back, so I'm gonna count this one as a win anyway. To which she responded, LOL doesn't mean something is funny. Pretty sure you're wrong. That's not how that works. So I stopped using that. It wasn't working out for me, guys. I'm gonna take a little time to show you guys some of my own characters. We saw some of Cameron's characters. I'm gonna do some characters for you guys. This first one is called Jimmy Stewart in a McDonald's drive-thru. Oh, there's so many choices on the menu. Oh dear. Oh, I'll have a number. All these Boy Scouts came here. They can't put a dam in the forest. That's a Mr. Smith Goes to Washington reference, guys. This next one is called Michael Caine, using 90s pop song references in the middle of his own Dark Knight Rises lines. I've already buried too many members of the Wayne family. So if you step back from that ledge, my friend, and cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in, and if you do not want to see me again, I would understand. This next one is called Woody Allen seeing the Entourage trailer for the first time. Oh yeah. Johnny Trump is in the movies again. It's good, you know. And this next one's called A Gay Nazi Spliced into World War II Movies. Gay Nazi spliced into World War II movies. I don't see your name on the list. Looks like someone's not getting into the club tonight, huh? I don't know who this Private Ryan is that you speak of, but I can show you where to find my privates. Alright, that's the end of the character work, guys. Thank you. One applause break. There we go. Alright. So, thank you. So I had the distinct privilege back in January of opening up for Brian Posehn. Which was amazing, guys. That was awesome, except for the fact that before the show, we're chilling downstairs in the green room, and one of the guys opening gives Brian Posehn weed. Yeah. And Brian Posehn takes a hit of weed, coughs, and just goes, I don't think I'm going on tonight. And I was like, no, don't say that. Johnny P. He was the host that night, and For an hour before the show, I kept coming up to Johnny P and just saying, Johnny, what's my name? And he would say, it's Alec. And I said, that's right, Johnny. And I would say, Johnny, what's my name? And he would say, it's Alec. And I said, that's right, Johnny. Johnny comes to bring me up and says, please welcome to the stage, Alex Jones. And I was like, you son of a bitch. And not like a month ago, over Facebook, he and I had conversations I told him numerous times that I'm from Manuka. And one night at Mojo's out in Plainfield, where I do mics all the time, he looks at me in the face and says, so where do you live in Plainfield? And he wasn't even high. I'm like, Johnny boy, what are you doing, man? Like, God. Ugh. I have weird interactions with people. I really do. It gets strange sometimes. To the point where, outside this place, Mojo's, I was having a conversation with two very good friends of mine now, who I will lovingly refer to as my gay friends. And a man comes storming out the door wearing an ISU Redbird sweater.
Is he German?
No. I don't know why you would ask that question, but okay. Is he German? That's very odd. He comes storming out, and he sees me talking to the two gay guys and immediately lumps me in with them, because apparently gays only hang out together. They don't intersperse. And he looks at him, and I'm not kidding you, this is how drunk this guy was. He looks him in the face and goes, so I have a question. Does it smell like shit when you guys are done? Another human being said that to another human being, and they were like, no, it doesn't. And he was like, oh, cool. And so he's talking to these guys, and he lumps me in with them, and I decide to start fucking with him. And so he goes in for one of those side bro hugs, you know, like this, and I just start like jerking him off like this. And he has no idea what's going on. The gay guys are laughing hysterically. This dude's like, yeah, I said something funny. We're like, no, you didn't. So he keeps talking, and he looks at us and goes, guys, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk inside like we're gonna start a fight. I'm like, you're talking to two gay guys and a dude that looks like he couldn't beat up a triple from Star Trek. I don't think we're the right people for your army. And he's like, no, we got this. So he goes in for another side hug, and I just started licking at his nipple and still has no idea what's going on. As someone who doesn't drink, I love fucking with drunk people. Like, it's magical. It really is. Oh, man. This is a good story. So I don't make, this is one I'm going to tell you guys because I love it. I don't make good friend decisions. I play fantasy football, first off, which is like Dungeons & Dragons for sports fans. And we're at the draft party for the league this past fall, and one of the league mates, Nate, had recently procured a black kitten. And by procured, I mean it just walked into his house one day, and he was like, you could stay here forever. And Nate had named the cat LaDavion. He named the black cat LaDavion. He named her LaDavion. And so everyone gets there for the league, and Mark, one of the league mates, is there, and he brings a girlfriend who's a black. Okay, so everyone's looking at the kitten because, oh, she's so cute, she's a cute kitten. And Nate picks her up and just goes, yep, she's our little nigger. And we're just like, Nate, no! And then without missing a beat, puts the cat back down and goes to shake Mark's girlfriend's hand like nothing fucking happened. Like, how do you do this? Nate looks like if Anakin Skywalker and Skrillex had a baby. Like, is half the side of his head shaved, but he also has the Padawan braid going down and the giant glasses. I refer to him as a Tinder wizard because one day while I was living with them, he comes home from work, looks at me and says, hey, you want to go see a movie? And I said, yeah, let's see what's in the theaters. And 10 minutes later, he comes down and goes, nope, just met somebody on Tinder in Crystal Lake, gonna go drive up and fuck him. I'm like, how do you do this? I'm so lonely. Just like, take me with you, at least let me watch. Guys, you know when you've watched too much Netflix, when you reach the bottom of the science fiction and fantasy section and you get to a movie that piques your interest called Asteroid versus Earth? First off, that's not a fair fight. I don't care how many times you've seen Armageddon. This is going to be more like a Deep Impact scenario. We're not sending Bruce Willis up there with nukes. That's not happening. But it got me thinking that I really want to make a movie called Kramer versus Alien versus Predator versus Freddy versus Jason versus Joe versus the Volcano versus Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I think that would sell pretty well. And like, I love movies, and so I have a question for the gentlemen in the audience here today. How many of you can openly admit to nicknaming your own penis at one point in time? Yeah. Got a few in the audience. All right, well, this is my list of movies that you should never nickname your own penis after. The Titanic, Shrek, Dancer in the Dark, Little Man, Bend It Like Beckham, Jurassic Park 2, because that movie sucked, let's be honest. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, A Raisin in the Sun, and last but not least, The Color Purple. Don't do that, guys. It's bad for you. I love movies so much that I've now started to read the novelization of movies, you know? And I'm on chapter 2 of Bambi. And chapter 2 of Bambi is just, Mom? Yeah. I've done some weird shows in the past too. A couple years ago, I had the distinct privilege of performing at a date auction at the University of St. Francis. And I wrote this joke just for that show, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Doing this date auction's kind of weird. It's like Storage Wars, but with my body. And just like in that TV show, someone's going to home disappointed tonight. I was like, really? I spent money on that? At least Little Caesars was free. You know what's bad? When Little Caesars makes your time together more valuable. And I've had some weird encounters here. There's a guy who used to come here all the time named Berto. A lot of you guys may know him. Yeah. Berto's a big guy. Berto liked to laugh at the setups of my jokes. And not like normal laugh, but like witch cackle laugh. And one day I decided I'd had enough, and I turned around and I said, Berto, you sound like the Wicked Witch of the West, but you look like the house that fell on her sister. Comes up to me after the show, was like, oh, it was pretty good. I'm like, it wasn't meant to be pretty good, it was meant for you to shut up. Now you guys know how some people are passive aggressive? I'm aggressively passive. I try to avoid conflict at all costs, because I'm not going to win in a fight, as I mentioned earlier. And the thing with that is, I was outside here one night and there was a dude very drunk screaming up a storm, and I came outside and I said, dude, quiet down, there's people down the road trying to sleep. He goes, what are you going to do about it? And I says to the guy, how old are you? And he says to me, what are you going to do if I don't tell you? And I says to him, if you don't tell me, I'm going to cut your dick open and count the rings like the inside of a tree to find out how old you are. And he was like, boo, and I ran away. Because I was about to die as soon as my word phaser just stopped working. You know I wouldn't win in a fight because I just use the term word phasers. I bought a snake last August because nothing enforces loneliness than buying a reptile, guys. It was one of those things, and I named him. I'm really good at naming things, so I named the snake Olaf the Rock and Roll Destroyer. And I've realized now that the reason I bought a snake was to biblically excuse the amount of food that I eat. He's just like, have another bowl of ice cream. I just had one 5 minutes ago. It doesn't matter. I make poor life decisions, guys. For instance, Monday, while at an open mic, I briefly forgot how to tie my shoes. Saw one was untying, leaned down to tie it, and went, wait a minute, how does this work? So I did 1 year of college. I shouldn't have gone to college, guys. Like, I know that about myself now. I shouldn't have done it because one of the spring semester I showed up for a final and the professor had no idea who I was. I was like, who are you? I'm like, I'm in your class, I'm on your roster. And he goes, never seen you before. How many, he's like, how many times have you been to class? I'm like, I don't know, 4? Maybe 5? He was like, just leave. It's not worth it for you being here. And so now I work at a 7-Eleven. And I do this. Telling your parents you want to be a stand-up comic is a lot like saying, hey, is it cool if I live in your basement for the next 5 or 6 years? Is that cool, guys? Like, I work at a 7-Eleven now. I work the overnight shift, and I meet some weird people. Like, I really do, and it's funny for me. I love it. I had a guy come in a few weeks ago, eyes bloodshot red, goes straight towards the back of the store for the Visine, walks up to the front of the store wearing a Dare t-shirt. I'm just like, well done. That's hard to pull off, man. I think if they want Dare programs to be effective in schools, they should stop showing them like the cartoon movies and make them watch Requiem for a Dream. When you see Jennifer Connelly going ass to ass with a crowd of men in suits and masks just going fuck, 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 that will stop teenage drug use immediately. They really will. And one of my favorite encounters was this woman that came into the store very drunk, and I know she was very drunk because the first words out of her mouth were, "Don't worry, I'm not driving." Like, I didn't ask, but okay. She says, "Give me that bottle of Rumple on the shelf." And I says, "Okay, you're not driving, fuck it." So I hand her the bottle, and as she's leaving the store, she passes a young black gentleman, and as they pass each other, mind you, no words are exchanged before this happens, she blurts out, "I like rap music!" I don't know if she was afraid she was going to get mugged or something, but I'd like to see that scenario play out. And dude's just like, there's my target. She's got a real big purse. At least $3 in quarters hanging out in the bottom of that thing. I'm going to make my move. He makes his move, and she just yells out, "I like rap music!" And he goes, "Well, shit, now what do I do? We like similar things. I can't mug her. That would make me an asshole." And then a few weeks ago, I had a bunch of kids come into the store, and one of them tried to buy Tropical Fusion Swisher Sweets, which when you buy those, we, the people behind the counter, we know why you're buying them. And newsflash, we also don't care. And so the kid comes up to buy him, and I ask for his ID, and he's 17, and I say, "I can't sell these to you." And he looks at me and says, "Well, I thought I could get these like 2 months early." I'm like, who's telling you these things? You need better friends. And so the rest of the guys leave. I announce that I'm gonna go have a cigarette break, and when I say announce, I mean I just yelled out this: "Nicotine doth call!" And so I walk outside, and as I walk outside, I see one of them run to the other car. And I know what's going down, and again, I don't care. But one of them already had weed paranoia, and rolls his window down and just starts screaming at me, "Yo, bro, what are you staring at?" And I says, "Nothing, dude, just having a smoke." "You calling me illiterate?" "No, that didn't come up at all." "'Cause I'm Hispanic." Not a thing that I'm trying to purvey here. It's not a point I'm trying to make. And so all I did was pull out my phone, and they sped away into the middle distance. I'm like, I'm just checking Facebook. I don't know what you guys are all worried about. Now, guys, I saw something very strange the other day. I saw a billboard for a company called Expert Gynecology, which raises a very important question. Is there an amateur gynecology out there somewhere? Dudes just show up to work and go, "Holy shit. I did not expect to see one of these today." Dude, Dave, come here. Yeah, I know, right? Georgia O'Keeffe had it right. Okay, thank you guys very, very much. You've been excellent.